Chapter 295. At the critical moment, Shui took a step back and avoided her touch. Xiao Ruan missed him and stumbled, almost falling down. She looked up at Shui in disbelief. Why? Why did he avoid her? Was she a piece of trash that he wanted to avoid? I like you. I really like you. Xiao Ruan tried her best to express her feelings. I've liked you since you debuted. I've watched all of your movies and TV shows. I vote for you every day. I even gave up on studying for you. I've spent all my time on you, Xiao Ruan said. However, Shui did not show the slightest hint of being touched. Xiao Ruan suddenly had a thought. He looked gentle, but in fact he was more distant than anyone else. It's not a rational choice to give up on yourself for anyone, Shui said in a clear and calm voice. You have your own life, and I shouldn't be the only one in your life. Miss Qiao, I won't hold it against you for secretly taking photos and following my car. I hope you can return to your normal life. I'll give you my blessings. Xiao Ruan muttered. Do you mean you don't need my love? She widened her eyes in horror, completely unwilling to accept this reality. Coincidentally, she noticed Xiangyi. In fact, Xiangyi kept a distance from them. However, in the eyes of the extreme Xiao Ruan, and Xiangyi was deliberately provoking her. When she saw Xiangyi, her emotions became even more unstable. Is it because of her? What's so good about her? Why do you care about her? Why do you care about her? You shouldn't even look at her. She was extremely agitated. I'm the one who likes you the most. I'm the one who has done the most for you. Look at me, okay? Look at me, okay? Even if you like her, you should like me. Xiao Ruan's logic was extreme. I like you and I've done a lot for you. Therefore, you should like me back. Otherwise, you'll be letting me down. Si Chuanbai's car arrived. He got out of the car and opened the back door. Shui's attitude was firm. Miss Qiao, please. This was undoubtedly a bolt from the blue for Xiao Ruan. You want to chase me away? Because of that bitch Xiangyi. Shui, who had always been polite, suddenly said in a cold voice, Miss Qiao, please watch your words. At this moment, the emotionless man's emotions were stirred. Xiao Ruan refused to believe it. You scolded me because of her. Without my support, you are nothing. Now that you're famous, you want to dump me and like that B*TCH. Shui, you're heartless. You heartless man. Si Chuanbai. He described himself as a wife who had gone through hardships, and Miss Xiangyi as a new lover. His ability to change concepts was truly superb. Miss Qiao, this isn't the first time you've harassed Shui. You've eaten at the same restaurant as him, bought the seat next to him on the plane, and even knocked on his hotel door. You're an adult and should be responsible for your own actions. If you continue to act like this, I can only take measures to call the police. Then report it. Let's see if the police will arrest you or me when they come. I think you're trying to drive me to my death. Xiao Ruan suddenly took out a holder from her bag. There was a phone attached to it and she clicked on the live broadcast. The words "Countdown to Suicide" were displayed at the top of the screen. Chapter 296. A few minutes ago, when she saw Tutu landing, Xiao Ruan, and posted a notice on Weibo. All is well year-round. If all hope comes from you, then the pain I'm feeling now is also thanks to you. Perhaps leaving is the best relief. I'm tired, really. There was a link to the livestream attached. When the fans saw the words "Countdown to the livestream," they were all frightened. Oh my God, sister, don't take things too hard. Is there anyone who can contact her in the real world? I'm dying of anxiety. I don't know if it'll work, but based on her previous location, she should be from Nanchang Pingan Nanchang. Someone raised a question. Livestream suicide? Why does it feel like a publicity stunt or coercion? In just a few minutes, there were hundreds of comments on that post. B*TCH get lost. Who would risk their own life for publicity? F*CKU. Don't you have any sympathy? She's about to die, yet you're still being a troll. I hate this kind of thing the most. She's crying in front of the screen. When I see your post, I just want to curse. It was no exaggeration to say that this Weibo post had caused a great commotion in the industry. Hence, when the livestream was opened, tens of thousands of people immediately flooded in. When they saw the skinny and haggard Xiao Anhao with reddened eyes, many people couldn't bear to see her like this. I can't imagine what you've been through. Sister, let me hug you. I'll treat you to milk tea, okay? Sigh, I've also been a fan of celebrities for many years, so I understand the pain of being out of reach. However, in the next second, Xiao Ruan switched the camera to Shi Sui's face and questioned. Tell me, do you like that B*tch Xiangyi? Even at such a close distance, the man's looks were still impeccable. His long eyelashes were lowered, and his thin lips were curved downwards. His entire body seemed to be covered in a layer of frost, and it was bone-chilling. Miss Chiao, he said calmly, we are all independent individuals. We can choose to like the opposite sex, the same sex, or none of them. This is the freedom that we are born with. But liking someone should never be an action that harms others. The fans in the livestream room. F***CK? Shurringdi. Oh my god, that's so cool, it's so awesome. No, am I the only one who's confused? All is well year-round. Why is she with Shurringdi? Let me say something quietly. This seems to be the manner where Two Under One Roof was filmed. All is well year-round, it's a bit like an obsessive fan. Xiao Ruan said. I can't win against you. I just want you to like me. Is it that difficult? I've done so much for you, but you don't care about it at all. Is the support of your fans nothing to you? Si Chuanbai's expression changed slightly. This piece of music was a little impressive. If he didn't deal with it properly, his fans might leave him. As Xiao Ruan's manager, he naturally put his artist's interests first. So he stepped forward to stop Xiao Ruan. Miss Qiao, not only are you trespassing on private property, but you're also secretly taking photos. Shua, Xiao Ruan took out a fruit knife and pretended to cut her wrist. Don't come over. Si Chuanbai immediately dared not move. The fans in the live stream were dumbfounded. F***CK, she must be an obsessive fan. Chapter 297. Look at how skilled she is. She must have done this a lot. I'm so confused. What kind of illegitimate behavior is this? Based on the time, Shi Sui should have just returned to the country not long ago. He sat there for more than 10 hours without much rest, and even had the camera pointed at his face. It's terrifying. The public opinion changed all of a sudden. Xiao Rua, and glanced at the bullet screen in the live stream, but the comments made her very puzzled. Why aren't they supporting me anymore? Why did my live stream fail? However, she didn't have time to care about that now. She just wanted to threaten Shi Sui and make him compromise with her. However, to her surprise, Shi Sui gave a direct response to her question. I'm very grateful for the support of my fans. It's very fortunate for an actor to be liked and supported by others. Without fans, Shi Sui wouldn't have become the actor that I am today. But everyone wants to have an independent space where they won't be disturbed. I want my fans to focus on my work, not me, nor my private life. This response was courteous and sincere, and it left a very good impression on him. Boo-hoo, Shi Sui said it so well. He's an actor. An actor. He's not a target of harassment from all as well year-round. QEQ, it's not easy for Shi Sui. He's relied on his own abilities to make a name for himself. I didn't expect him to be treated like this by his obsessive fans. Si Chuanbai was a little emotional. He knew very well that Shi Sui's words were not just polite words, but rather, he really meant what he said. Fans were comparable to top-notch traffic. As long as he wanted to make use of his fans, he could earn a lot of money at any time. For example, he could take on some commercials for unlicensed brands without moral integrity. As long as he was thick-skinned enough, it would be easy for him to earn money. However, Shi Sui didn't. He didn't take on commercial activities easily, and was extremely serious about acting. Even if it was a cameo appearance for free, he would never slack off and only act in a few scenes perfunctorily. Si Chuanbai felt from the bottom of his heart that Shi Sui was really worthy of his fans' love and achievements. However, Xiao Ruan panicked. Without public opinion, what else could she use to threaten Shi Sui? She made up her mind and said, I just want you to accompany me for 3 days. After 3 days, I won't disturb you again for the rest of my life. If you don't agree, I will. So what? Shui interrupted her. You don't even cherish your own life. Have you ever considered the feelings of those who care about you? However, Xiao Rua and did not listen to him at all. Her eyes were red. You can't even agree to this small request of mine? Some fans in the live stream couldn't help but comment. Actually, Shirindi can agree first and coax her. Shui is a little too cold-blooded. How can she be reasonable at a time like this? Human lives were at stake. Does he even understand? Yeah, it's not a big deal to tell a white lie. I feel like this all is well year-round. Girl's mental state is quite unstable. It's better to lie to her first and then hand her over to the doctor for treatment. The group of people gestured in the air, as if they were the wisest and wisest ones. Suddenly, Xiao Rua and slid her hand to her wrist. Just as the blade pierced her skin, her wrist was grabbed by a pair of strong hands. Xiao Ruan struggled with all her might. In her panic, she ended up stabbing Shui's forearm. Ah! She screamed as if she had gone crazy and threw her phone away. Shui remained calm, and even indifferently took the fruit knife from her hand. His cold and fair skin was covered in blood. His voice was cold and very soft. I'm sorry, but I can't lie to you. Because I have someone I like. I want to be a good person for her sake. Chapter 298. His hoarse voice was low and deep, but it made Xiao Ruoyan's heart skip a beat. For a second, she even thought that Shui would stab her in the heart with that knife. But it was only for a second. The man spun the knife casually, even more casually than he spun a pen. Then he threw it far away. Clang. The fruit knife fell to the ground. The phone fell to the ground and the camera was facing the ground. The netizens in the live stream saw nothing but darkness. The more confused they were about the situation, the faster the comments flooded in. Did Shui get stabbed? I only have one thing to say to the Saising fans: die. Shui Zai, please be safe. Cry. Cry. This woman is crazy. What's the point of threatening others with her own life? Shui's voice was too soft, so no one except Xiao Ruan heard it. Si Chuanbai quickly joined forces with the other security guards to hold Xiao Ruan down. The sound of police sirens could be heard from afar. Xiao Ruan broke down completely. You like her? How can you like her? How is she better than me? She's just a cheap. Si Chuanbai calmly stuffed her mouth with a rag he picked up. Xiao Ruan was so angry that she rolled her eyes, but she couldn't say a word. Soon, Xiao Ruan was taken away by the police, and her phone was also taken into the police car as evidence. The live stream was closed. In the last shaky scene, a slender figure was seen running towards Shui. The netizens who stayed behind were still discussing enthusiastically. I'm curious how long she'll be locked up for this kind of behavior. At most, she'll be criticized and educated. What I'm more worried about now is whether someone will imitate her. Is that Xiang Yi who flashed by at the end? Sister Yi, hurry up and take a look at Shui's arm. Am I the only one who thinks that the vase fairy is at fault this time? If she hadn't seduced Shui, she wouldn't have angered all as well year-round, and this wouldn't have happened. As soon as this comment was posted, it was rebutted by the netizens. Yes, you're the only one who thinks so. Dear, I suggest you go to the hospital to see a neurologist. Yes, whatever you say is right. Come, let's all wish it a safe journey. Candle. The manner. Xiangyi ran so fast that she was panting slightly when she stopped. She didn't have time to rest, but took off her thin sunscreen jacket to stop the bleeding on Shui's hand. Then she held Shui's other hand. Let's go back and treat our wounds. Shui let her hold her hand and followed behind her obediently. The coldness and ruthlessness she had shown when she faced Xiao Rua and just now disappeared and was replaced by a gentle and lazy tone. Are you worried about me? Xiangyi blamed herself. I should have stayed with you. That way, I could have protected you. Shui is really too delicate. Behind him, Si Chuanbai was speechless. He seemed to be at a loss for words. Not to mention, Shui had received an elite education when she was a teenager, and was highly skilled in martial arts. Later on, when she filmed a martial arts movie, she also learned kickboxing from a world-class coach. Logically speaking, she should have been able to dodge that blow just now. Sichuanbai seriously suspected that his artiste was trying to scam him. He overheard the conversation between the two of them. Sister E, it hurts a little, the man said in a feeble tone. The girl coaxed him softly. Shall we have stewed goose in a pot later? The man chuckled and said, sure. Chapter 299. In the living room, Xiangyi took out the first aid kit and cleaned Shui's wound before carefully disinfecting it. Fortunately, the wound wasn't deep and it was just a flesh wound. It was just that he was bleeding profusely. Xiangyi looked up at him and asked, do you want to take some painkillers first? I think I can endure it for a while longer. It's okay, you don't have to endure it. Sichuanbai was speechless. Why did I come in? I'm just applying some medicine. What kind of nonsense is that? Xiangyi said softly. Actually, I'm a little hard of hearing. If you want to cry, I won't be able to hear anything. Shui blinked and stared at her for a few seconds before looking at Sichuanbai. It was as if he was asking, why are you still here? Sichuanbai was dressed in an elite black suit. He sat upright and still, but deep down he was thinking. He was definitely not going to let her cook him a stewed goose today. Cough, I'm not that hard of hearing either. I've never scored full marks for an English test. The famous manager was forced to admit that he was hard of hearing. Xiangyi took out some painkillers and was about to pass them to Shui when he opened his mouth calmly and said, ah, like a child asking for candy. The young girl instinctively stuffed the pills into his mouth. Her fingertips brushed against his thin lips. It was cool and moist to the touch. She curled her fingers uncomfortably and lowered her head to continue bandaging his wound. After a while, Shui said, Sister E, it still hurts a lot. Xiangyi was worried. This painkiller won't take effect that quickly. Why don't I think of another way? The man's dark eyes gradually darkened. Like a cat, his gaze shifted to her lips, as if he was sleeping. Sichuanbai was speechless. Why was his artiste more delicate than his little wife? Back then, she could still finish filming with a smile even when she broke a bone. How could she not be able to tolerate this pain? He watched as Xiangyi carefully inserted a few needles into his wound. Are you feeling better? Much better. Xiangyi was relieved. She patted his head and said, have a good rest. I'll make you something to eat. Unexpectedly, when she walked towards the small outdoor kitchen, Shui followed behind her like a little tail. Xiangyi? ? Shui's expression did not change. I want to do a live stream and explain to my fans so that they don't have to worry. Xiangyi suddenly understood. You're so thoughtful. Should I call Director Li over for you? When it came to live streaming, Li Jinyu was still the most skilled. Shui raised her hand and hooked the hem of the girl's shirt with her fair and slender fingers. But I won't be streaming alone. I want to do it with you, Sister E. Sichuanbai. He raised his hand to his forehead to hide his dumbfounded expression. He really couldn't bear to look at her. Oh, I see. Xiangyi didn't think it was a big deal. After all, Shui was a fragile man. Let's do it together then. As a result, today's episode of Two Under One Roof began airing in advance. Dear viewers and friends, don't pass by. Today's menu: stewed goose in an iron pot. The main ingredient is a goose. That's it. Li Jinyu was particularly mischievous and got the cameraman to take a picture of the white goose that was still strolling around carefreely. The white goose was bold and took a domineering stride towards the cameraman. It tilted its head and asked, quack? The pop-up comments. Hurry. Run. Ah. Danger, danger, danger. I feel like reciting a poem at this moment. Goose, goose, goose. Cut its neck with a knife, pluck its feathers and boil it in water. Stewed goose in an iron pot. Chapter 300. In the next second, a pair of fair and slender hands seemed to have appeared out of thin air and mercilessly picked it up. It's so fat, it'll definitely be very fragrant when stewed, the girl commented in a gentle voice. The netizens were dumbfounded. What? Little fairy, why are you saying the cruelest things in the most gentle tone? Goose cause of death. Too fat. How many times have I told you? If you're too fat, you'll be eaten. I'm shivering in front of the screen as I munch on duck neck and drink milk tea. The big white goose, which was extremely ferocious and had a heartless mouth, met Xiangyi, who was even more heartless. It screamed as it was taken away. The cameraman even took a long shot of Xiangyi as she walked away, looking as if she didn't care about anyone else. A few minutes later, the goose was taken away. The process was too gory, so by the time everyone saw the goose, it was already lying naked on the chopping board. The netizens were very mischievous. Goose, you're all cheap. You're all craving for my body. This show is so delicious. Ahem, it's so interesting. I'm going to record the recipe now. The goose's life was short and glorious, ordinary yet great. It passed away peacefully. There were also a few haters who complained. I feel so bad. Goose is so cute. Why do you have to eat goose? Why must you eat goose? Are you that greedy? That's a life we're talking about. Girls should be gentle and virtuous. Slaughtering small animals is too cruel. The vase fairy is so cold-blooded. The netizens' response to this was, don't look at the idiot. Because it was time for everyone's happy mukbang. The fresh goose meat was cut into small pieces, and water was added to the pot to boil the meat. Scallions, ginger, garlic, dried chili, orange peel, and cilantro were cut and set aside. She then heated up the oil and added the goose meat for stir-frying. She then added the old soy sauce and cooking wine and stir-fried them evenly. At this point, the aroma of the goose meat had already spread. The staff at the scene couldn't help but take a few deep breaths and subconsciously began to salivate. Xiangyi added an appropriate amount of water to the pot and simmered it with firewood. The goose meat would be simmered for about 40 minutes before adding the side dishes. This was the perfect time to interact with Shui's fans. The little girl looked up at Shui. The two of them had a tacit understanding. Shui immediately said, as you can see, the goose has been stewed. Upon hearing his voice, some fans immediately asked about his situation. Li Jinyu asked the staff to bring over a tablet, so that he could better see the comments of the netizens in the live broadcast room. I'm sorry to have made everyone worried. My injuries are not serious and have been treated. It's true. I'm not lying to you. Shui smiled. Liars have long noses. The fans in the live broadcast room were excited by his smile. Ah, Shurindi, don't laugh like that. Too flirtatious, too flirtatious. My legs are turning to jelly. Who can resist this? The sense of immersion is so strong, I feel like I'm already on my way to getting married to Shui. What do you think of all is well year-round's behavior? Shui muttered to himself. Xiangyi, who was behind him, naturally handed him a small stool, and he took the opportunity to sit down. He sat upright and had a noble temperament, as if he shouldn't be in this smoky kitchen. He restrained his smile and spoke with a sincere and serious attitude. There's nothing wrong with liking someone, and this kind of feelings shouldn't be trampled on. Everyone has the right to like someone, and similarly, they also have the right to not like someone. Please don't turn your personal liking into a burden for others. Chapter 301. Following Shui's low voice, the live stream. Boo-hoo, this man is so gentle. From the beginning to the end, he didn't define all as well year-round, as an obsessive fan. He probably wants to save the other party some face. QEQ, he can still be so calm and composed when he's being harassed and hurt. Seriously, even if he's pretending, I love Shuringdi's worldview. Someone noticed that Xiangyi was busy sitting on a small stool next to her, and commented out of curiosity, not expecting Shui to be the one to pick her up. What's sistery doing? She's picking peas. The camera turned to Xiangyi, who cooperated. I'm going to make pea cakes. Li Jinyu. Oh, you can make this yourself? Xiangyi. Yes, but it's a bit time-consuming. Normally, she wouldn't make this, but Xiangyi liked it. So it was worth it to spend some time. Shui drawled lazily. Sister E, everyone has a lot of questions for you. However, he refused to say what the questions were. What did they ask? The tablet was in Shui's hands, and the comments flew by. In order to get a better look, Xiangyi unknowingly drew closer to him. In the camera, their heads were almost touching. The couple fans who hadn't eaten sweets for a few days were extremely excited. Aw, sisters, I'll give you a salute first. I'll say it again, untimely SZD. It's true. Sitting on a small stool in a row and reading the comments head to head. Shurshui's sister E is so cute. Seeing the words untimely, Xiangyi's ears began to heat up. She began to think of the content that Anan had shown her before. Ahem, you want to know the recipe? I'll write down the details later and post it on Weibo. Xiangyi picked out the question seriously. She wanted to ignore the words untimely, but the man next to her suddenly said something. Untimely? Isn't that an idiom? The tone of this sentence was innocent, and the expression was blank. It could be said that she was naive and sweet. Xiangyi. She hummed dryly and pretended to be very serious as she continued to pick the beans. Bullet screen. Ha ha ha, I bet Sister E knows the true meaning of untimely. Hee hee, it's obvious that the vase fairy is leading the hype. Poor Shuringdi, he's been kept in the dark so miserably. What a joke. This is the first time I've seen a CP fan dance in front of the main character. Do they have brains? I'm just asking if it's awkward. The next second, Shurshui took out his phone. Because his right forearm was injured, he had to use his left hand to type, so his typing was a little slow. However, oh, so it's a combination of our names. Shurshui clicked her tongue. There's a superscript. I'll go in and take a look. Xiangyi. The little girl's expression changed slightly, losing her usual calmness. You don't look. It was too late. Shurshui looked at it. Not only did he look at it, but he also commented in real time. This Q version of the character is quite cute. Cut the video of the sweet exploding your girlish heart. Self-made untimely emoji pack. Follow the comments to receive it. On Weibo, Shurshui's Weibo account, there was the following update. Shurshui V has followed the superscript untimely. Come and play with me. Shurshui V has checked in with the superscript untimely for a day in a row. Come and check in with me. Shurshui V has contributed all the points to the superscript untimely. Come and hit the leaderboard with me. The netizens were speechless. Chapter 302. The netizens were dumbfounded. In particular, the netizens who did not watch the livestream began leaving comments on Shurshui's Weibo account. Could it be that his account was hacked? Shurshui, I'm rooting for myself and Sister E to be a couple. It's fine that he's following them, but why is he still voting? The netizens who were watching the show played the role of popularizing the situation. Shurshui and Xiangyi are doing a livestream together. When interacting with the fans, Shurshui saw that someone mentioned that it was inappropriate for them to be together. Hence, she searched for it and even paid attention to it. This man is so good at variety shows. I'm impressed. There were also some who whispered and questioned. Is it really for variety shows? I feel like he's more into it than I am. Of course, the Shurshui sisters were adamant that it was for variety shows. Before Shurshui's official announcement was made, they would never give Xiangyi a proper status. In the small kitchen, the aroma of the stewed goose meat was already wafting out of the iron pot. Xiangyi had also added some Chinese herbs such as ginger, grass, nutmeg, and so on. The faint aroma of the herbs blended perfectly with the aroma of the meat, making it seem like a living immortal. However, Xiangyi's mind was not on the dishes at all. She couldn't help but ask, I heard that it's a CP. CP means couple. So? Shurshui asked calmly as he looked her in the eye. Her rhetorical question made Xiangyi dumbfounded. Am I making a mountain out of a molehill? Shurshui seems to be just surfing the internet for fun. It shouldn't be a big deal to follow him. If Sangchen or Xiangli were present, they would definitely be able to tell that Shurshui was up to no good. That's a skill that can fool people. Xiangyi successfully brainwashed herself and completed her logic. I'm rooting for myself. It seems quite fun. In the live stream, Sister Yi's expression changed from confusion to determination. I'm dying of laughter. Xiangyi, don't be fooled by that old fox. You're not allowed to date. Mama, no. Newbie, what kind of lame show is this? First it stews a goose, and now it's knocking itself on the head. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to join the update list. The entire live broadcast room was filled with ha-ha-ha laughter. Hashtag untimely hashtag and hashtag SureSway's #1 fan hashtag were also trending. The popularity of the hot topics had skyrocketed, and SureSway and Xiangyi had also gained a lot of fans. South City, at a dinner party, Qin Wanyan drank with him for half a day, thinking that she could get some resources from the variety show. Although it was only a flying guess for one episode, this was a national-level variety show. Everyone, from the elderly to the elementary and middle school students, loved to watch it. However, she only went to the bathroom to touch up her makeup. When she returned, she saw the director and the others laughing at their phones. Ha ha ha, SureSway is so funny. This female artist is also funny. Her name is Xiangyi. I've been following Two Under One Roof. She's quite versatile. She can play musical instruments, she can also practice medicine, and she's a great cook. Oh, in that case, she's quite suitable for our variety show. Seeing that the resources were about to go to Xiangyi, Qin Wanyan clenched her fists and said softly, Xiangyi, I know her. She used to be good friends with me, but she's been ignoring me ever since she became famous. The director frowned. Qin Wanyan took the opportunity to fan the flames. She's been entangled with many male artists. I have screenshots here. While showing the screenshots to the director and the others, Qin Wanyan said, to use a popular phrase, she's a sea queen. Chapter 303. In the past year, Xiangyi had sent her a lot of screenshots of their chats. Qin Wanyan had specially created a folder and saved all the pictures. Qin Wanyan was actually very disdainful of Xiangyi. She was clearly the daughter of a wealthy family, but she was a love-struck fool who couldn't help but flirt with good-looking boys whenever she saw one. However, she seemed to have reached an agreement with a mysterious person that forbade her from dating or having any intimate relations with boys. Hence, she only dared to touch the hands of other boys, such as Yan Nai and Xiaoyang. Yan Nai has also been harassed by her before. He's the son of Yan Zhenhua, director Yan. Later on he was traumatized. Xiaoyang from the Xiao family has also been taken advantage of by her. With the chat records as evidence, coupled with the names of the two people mentioned by Qin Wanyan, the faces of the director and the others became more and more sullen. Seeing this, Qin Wanyan ruthlessly revealed a piece of shocking news. The most exaggerated thing is that she once climbed into her own brother's bed. In an instant, there was an uproar. In the live stream of Two Under One Roof, the steaming hot stewed goose was out of the oven. The golden goose meat was scooped into a porcelain white soup bowl. After several hours of stewing, the meat was soft and the bones were peeled off. With a gentle pinch of chopsticks, the bones and meat were easily separated. There were also cut potatoes and carrots in it, which added to the color of the dish. After taking a whiff, the aroma overflowed. After taking a bite, the aftertaste was endless. Along with a few light vegetarian dishes, a sumptuous meal was ready. The netizens were about to cry. Goose, you died so tragically. My tears are flowing from the corners of my mouth. My takeout hasn't arrived yet. I'm crying so hard. I'm dying. I'm dying. The only bag of instant noodles left at home has expired for several months. Can I still eat it? I'm waiting online. It's urgent. This meal is too sumptuous. Sister E, I'm hurting all over. Can you send me a portion by express delivery? Or send me to your house by express delivery? Xiangyi was about to wake up Yan Nai, but he woke up first. Because he was at home, the man was no longer wearing formal clothes. Instead, he had changed into black silk home clothes. His movements were calm and elegant, and as soon as he entered the camera, he captured the attention of countless people. What the F***CK? Is this the new guest? Hey man, you've successfully attracted my attention. I want all his information in 5 minutes. Those legs, that waist, I vaguely saw abdominal muscles just now, they're so tough. This rice is so handsome. Cough, this brother smells so good. Cough cough, this beauty is a feast for the eyes. The ancients didn't lie. Found it, found it. I used the image recognition function to find him. The founder of Linchin law firm, Sanction. Wait, the last time Professor Xiangli came, Xiangyi seemed to call him second brother. Could this Sanction be big brother? There was a lot of discussion in the live stream. Sangchen had already calmly sat down. He seemed to be unintentionally separating Xiangyi and Shui from each other. The temperament of a domineering brother protecting his sister was firmly grasped. Si Chuanbai didn't care. He picked up a piece of goose meat and stuffed it into his mouth. The tender and fragrant goose meat had a pure taste. It was fragrant but not greasy, and had a faint herbal aroma. It tasted so good. Delicious. It's so delicious. Si Chuanbai rarely lost his composure. Shui also nodded gently, indicating that it tasted good. Sangchen was the only one who said indifferently, "It's just SOSO." Immediately, a netizen pointed out, "This is the first time the vase fairy has failed. This man is definitely not her biological brother." Chapter 304. This comment garnered the approval of many people. "I'm so annoyed by vase fairy's brainless praises. So every man is your brother? Don't you think Xiangyi is like a white lotus who had a bunch of brothers when she was in school? Wake up, Sangchen is a top financial lawyer in the country who only takes on IPO cases. The truly impressive lawyers don't even have to appear in court to earn tens of millions of yuan in commission. Is Xiangyi worthy of him? Why does she get all the good things?" Most people felt that Sangchen was likely to be Xiangyi's brother, but they couldn't resist the logical analysis of the haters and their confident tone, causing many people to waver. Well, Xiangyi's brothers included an esports guru, an international fashion designer, a genius medical doctor, and a top financial lawyer. How could it be possible? At the dining table, Xiangyi tasted the goose meat and frowned slightly. It seems a little out of place with a few spices mixed together, but that's not right. I've mixed them like this before. Si Chuanbai was speechless. Are you serious, Miss Xiangyi? Are you that strict with your culinary skills? To him, this was already a delicacy that he would only get to eat a few times in his life. God knows how much he wanted his artiste to marry Miss Xiangyi. Even if he couldn't marry her, he might as well marry into her family. He was willing to be Miss Xiangyi's manager in the future. As long as he could have such a meal occasionally in the future. Sangchen said indifferently, "Mushroom." Xiangyi immediately understood. "Oh, I see," Shui said thoughtfully. "Is there a conflict between spices?" Si Chuanbai was speechless. He was a top manager, but at this moment he felt like he was the only one in elementary school who didn't know anything. His dumbfounded expression was so hilarious that Li Jinyu shamelessly asked the photographer to take a few more close-up shots of him. However, Li Jinyu was indeed curious. "What's going on, Sister E?" Xiangyi said. "Mushrooms are rich in glutamic acid, which is an acidic amino acid. They have a unique taste and can be dissolved in water. This is one of the reasons why mushroom soup is so delicious. However, it conflicts with the seasoning, so the soup tastes a little strange." She tasted it carefully, then picked out a piece of Chinese medicine seasoning and made a judgment. "It should be this." "Li Jinyu, let me have a taste. I won't believe you if you don't have proof." Bullet screen. I suggest everyone type the word "shameless old thief" on the public chat. Xiangyi served him a bowl of stewed goose. Li Jinyu tasted it, and his eyes widened. "Such delicious food, I can swallow it whole. What was strange about it?" He finished the meat and potatoes in 2 or 3 bites and drank the soup in a huff. He shamelessly said, "It's too little. I can't taste anything. Give me another bowl." The bullet screen was instantly flooded with, "I've never seen such a shameless director. Is it that magical? Lawyer Xiang's taste is too picky. Xiangyi's taste buds are so strong. She can actually guess which seasoning it is with just one taste. Who knows if it's true or not? Maybe she's just making things up. Who knows if she's bragging? Toxic. If it's not delicious, why would Director Li, Shui, and Si Chuanbai enjoy it so much? I think in some people's eyes, Sister Yi's existence is the original sin. Everything she does is wrong. Vase Fairy's fans, stop trying to scare her. There's a new melon that you've cooked on Weibo. Open it and you'll be surprised, hee. Chapter 305. She clicked on Weibo to see that #Qinhuanyan had been deleted in seconds. It was at the 4th position on the hot search list, and its popularity was still rising. The reason was that Qin Wanyan had posted a 9-grid screenshot and deleted it very quickly. She then posted on Weibo to claim that her account had been hacked. However, in this era where the internet had memories, it was too easy to find traces of the screenshot. Some netizens reposted the screenshots that Qin Wanyan had posted. All of them were chat records, and they were screenshots from the chat records. Although the pictures were blurry, the netizens couldn't resist the enthusiasm of the netizens, and soon, the content was deciphered. The first picture was of Xiangyi complaining to Qin Wanyan. "Yan-nai's little brother is quite cute, but he's so shy. I just touched his hand and his ears and neck are all red." The next picture was of the conversation between Xiangyi and Yan-nai. Frowny face Xiangyi. "Is Yan-nai asleep? Are you free tomorrow night? Let's have dinner together, okay, Yan-nai?" "Yan-nai. Sister Xiangyi, don't do this in the future. I really find it disgusting." The second picture was of Xiangyi showing off. "After flirting with him for so long, I finally got Xiaoyang. He thinks he's my one and only. What a joke. I'm actually just rearing a fish. It's silly for a woman to pin all her happiness on one man. I'll be happier if I find a few more." The next picture was of the conversation between Xiangyi and Xiaoyang. Frowny face Xiangyi. "Hubby shy. Xiaoyang. Wifey, send me a kiss." Xiangyi. "I miss you so much. I'm working so hard on the variety show, and you didn't even come to visit me." Xiaoyang. "Baby, it's been hard on you. I'll go tomorrow. I'll also arrange for a food truck and a milk tea cart for you. You have to give Baby E the best support in the world." In addition, there were also chat records with other artists, music producers, and rich heirs. If that was all, everyone would at most think that she was just a female version of Poseidon. Although she flirted a lot, she didn't have the guts to be lustful. She was all talk and no action. But the last picture caused everyone's worldview to explode. In the record, Qin Wanyan was the one who started the conversation. "Are you on bad terms with your family?" Xiangyi replied. "Last time, I accidentally climbed into my big brother's bed. He was so angry that he almost scared me to death. Sob. I didn't do it on purpose. I feel wronged." The picture in the picture was a conversation between her and her brother. Xiangyi. "Big brother, don't ignore me. I know I was wrong." Xiangyi. "Big brother, can you give me some pocket money? I've been so broke lately." Xiangyi. Gij, pay attention to me. Sanction. Busy Xiangyi. "Can I fly abroad to play with you? I promise that what happened last time won't happen again." Sanction. Behave, or else you know the consequences. Weibo exploded. The server was on the verge of collapse. The netizens vented their anger on Xiangyi's Weibo. Initially, she had posted detailed recipes for 2 dishes. Although there weren't many comments below, they were heartwarming. However, there was now a bloodbath. Her persona has collapsed. She's taking advantage of Anai's younger brother? Be more serious. Do you think our god is a spare tire? You're rearing fish? Screw you. You're an orphan. I'm so disgusted. She climbed into Lawyer Xiang's bed and still has the cheek to act coquettishly with him? To highlight, he's her biological brother. Ugh, my dinner from last night is about to pop out. Chapter 306. There was an uproar on Weibo, Melon forums, WeChat moments. Tomato Entertainment's public relations department acted as if they didn't exist. They were lying flat and accepting the ridicule, as if they had nothing to do with it. Instead, it became a signal that these revelations must be true. Otherwise, why didn't Xiangyi herself or Xiangyi's management company come out to deny it? At the very least, they should have issued a statement or sent a lawyer's letter to warn her. If they didn't deny it, it would be equivalent to admitting it. If they couldn't prove their innocence, they would have to suffer. In the apartment, Qin Wanyan looked at the silly netizens celebrating and smirked smugly. On WeChat, her manager sent her a message. "Wanyan, the contract for that variety show has been sent over. If you don't have any questions, I'll confirm it." Qin Wanyan replied with an okay, threw her phone aside, and slowly poured herself a glass of wine. "I really don't understand that stupid woman Xiangyi. She clearly has so many good cards, but she didn't use them in the past year. Now she's messed up her good cards and lost everything. She's even bringing up her brothers again. If I had known this would happen, I wouldn't have done it in the first place. If the appearance of her 3 brothers had helped her increase her popularity, then now, Qin Wanyan was like a bomb. Now Big Brother's appearance was like a bomb. She only pulled the fuse a little and it exploded with a bang. No matter what, Xiangyi couldn't afford to be accused of seducing her brothers. Imagining Xiangyi being nailed to the pillar of shame for the rest of her life, Qin Wanyan drank her red wine happily. In the manner, after Li Jinyu saw the news that the staff handed to him, he immediately ordered the livestream to end. The livestream came to an abrupt end, followed by a statement on the official Weibo account of Two Under One Roof, saying that there was a problem with the equipment, and that the restoration time was to be determined. The netizens expressed that they didn't buy it. Please clean up Xiangyi's misdeeds. Smile, smile, smile. Haha, I thought this show was meant to help Shui stabilize his popularity, but now it seems that it's just to promote XY. Vase Fairy is definitely the royal of variety shows. She's been supporting her openly and secretly. Even when something happened, she didn't give up. No matter how much the fans protest, she's still focused. This popular variety show will sooner or later be ruined by her. Fortunately, the live stream ended before the situation escalated further. Xiangyi was dumbfounded when she saw the screenshot. She would never have thought that the terrible thing that her uncle was talking about was that the person who had taken over her body had climbed into her big brother's bed. The girl's face was pale. She pushed away the bowl and chopsticks and staggered back to her room. He did not even dare to turn around to look at Sanction. She was afraid to see the look of disgust in her elder brother's eyes. She was even more afraid that her brother would never forgive her in this lifetime. Sanction frowned. He stood up and wanted to chase after her, but was stopped by Shui. Get out of my way. Sanction's tone was cold. Shui said helplessly, is there no one in your Xiang family who knows how to coax girls? Sanction snorted. Do I need you to teach me that? Shui. TSK, let me guess. How are you going to coax her? Give her a candy? Sanction had one hand in the pocket of his home clothes, and his fingertips were gently twirling a candy when he suddenly paused. Milk candy. Sure enough, it's a family heirloom. The corners of Shui's mouth twitched slightly. Let me do this kind of thing. He blinked his long eyelashes at Sanction. Brother, I'm the best at comforting Sister Eep. Chapter 307. Xiang Chen's jawline was taut, and his aura was sharp and cold, with a natural sense of oppression. The innocent Sichuan Bai was a little flustered. He felt that Sanction could beat up Shui at any time. However, in the end, his sister-complex nature prevailed. Xiang Chen closed her eyes and gritted her teeth. If I can't coax you, you'll be dead. Shui replied. Okay, Sanction was speechless. Xiangyi hugged her knees and sat on the floor. She leaned against the side of the bed and her mind was in a mess. Perhaps second brother's guess was right. She wasn't the real fast transmigrator. She was just a substitute. In the fast transmigration world, she didn't care if she was mocked, betrayed, framed, or abandoned. Because those were people who had nothing to do with her. Because she didn't care, she didn't care. But now, all her efforts seemed to have turned into a joke. Xiangyi thought that she had a good mentality and could handle life and death situations calmly. But now her mentality had really collapsed. No matter how strong a person was, they had their weaknesses. Xiangyi couldn't accept this reality. Click. The door lock moved slightly. Xiangyi turned a deaf ear to it. She only raised her head slowly when she felt a warm and strong hand on her head. It was Shui. She forced herself to be alert and asked in a soft and hoarse voice. How did you get in? Shui cleared his throat, as if he didn't think it was something to be proud of. I was in prison for a few days when I was acting in a movie and learned some lock-picking skills. I see. Xiangyi pursed her lips. She wanted to reply with a smile, but she felt that she couldn't even smile. Shui's eyes flickered. He bent down and sat beside her. One of his long legs was on the ground while the other was slightly bent. As he moved, his ankle bones were exposed and the soft cotton fabric rubbed against his fair skin. You don't have to smile if you don't want to. Do you want a shoulder or a tissue? I recommend the shoulder option because I'm wearing sweat-absorbent clothes today. It should be good for absorbing tears. Do you want to try it, Sister E? Xiangyi hesitated for a few seconds before she slowly, gently, and carefully leaned on his shoulder. Although she always said that Shui was a little kid, in her heart, Shui was still the reliable and gentle brother next door whom she had found reliable since they were young. Shui remained silent and accompanied her silently. The room was extremely quiet. After an unknown period of time, Xiangyi said in a low voice, I suddenly miss Mom and Dad. Shui pursed his thin lips. The parents of Xiangyi and the others had died in an accident. And the cruelest thing was that Xiangyi was the only survivor of that accident. She witnessed her parents' deaths with her own eyes. She also experienced some rumors that shouldn't have existed. Those boring and ugly so-called elders would repeatedly whisper in her ears, Do you miss your parents? Your brothers will blame you for being a jinx. You've become an unwanted child. You've become an unwanted child. Once little Xiangyi started crying, they would say, this child can't be teased. We're just joking. What's there to cry about? Shui's voice was gentle as he coaxed her patiently. Uncle and Auntie have become stars in the sky, protecting you. Sangchen and the others have never blamed you or been angry with you. Because all of them know that you're the best sister in the world, Xiangyi. Chapter 308. Xiangyi didn't say anything, but her nose was a little sour. Her forehead was pressed against Shui's shoulder, and she could feel the warmth of his body. Shui whispered, My hearing isn't very good either. Others might not understand, but Xiangyi immediately understood. He repeated what she had said before. The girl's nasal voice was thick. I won't cry. She probably cried too much when she was young, and now that she was older, she couldn't cry anymore. When she was sad, her first reaction was not to cry, but to endure. Shui chuckled. Well, our sister E has always been a very strong child. He still remembered the fair and soft Xiangyi, crying and driving away those annoying elders. She looked so fierce when she left. At that time, Xiangli was holding her. Xiang Feng spat at those people, and Xiangyi was spitting profanities. As for Sangchen, he was even more ruthless. He weighed a brick and stood on the side like a cold-faced king of hell, a proper threat. No matter how the 5 children fought at home, they would always stand together outside. Xiangyi calmed down for a while, and her emotions calmed down a little. She belatedly realized that Shui had also seen that her. Quickly transmigrate back, she was on the bed in his room. Shui didn't mention this matter again, and Xiangyi thought that he didn't care. Now that she thought about it, did he find something wrong? We. Xiangyi licked her cherry lips, raised her small face and asked, That day at the hot spring villa, nothing happened between us, right? Shui raised his eyebrows, and his dark eyes were unfathomable. Do you think something should have happened between us? This involved a blind spot in her knowledge again. Xiangyi was a little embarrassed. At that time, did I defile you? Shui asked with a half-smile. Ruin? Xiangyi was annoyed. It was all Nan's fault for using such a magical word. She had such a deep impression of this word that she blurted it out. Ahem, then let me rephrase my question. At that time, did I do anything to you that was not in line with the core values of socialism? The little girl was full of righteousness. At first glance, she looked very steady, if one ignored her slightly red earlobes. Shui pondered for a moment, causing Xiangyi's heart to skip a beat. Then he drawled. You fell asleep as soon as you entered. That night, the room card was an accident. Xiangyi had wanted to use the room card of another young hunk, but she accidentally entered Shui's room by mistake. The way that Xiangyi looked at him was truly disgusting. However, she immediately fainted. Shui originally thought that she was acting, and was about to smoke a cigarette to ask Xiang Feng to come and get her, but she soon woke up. It was the same face, but the look in his eyes was different. Shui knew that she were no longer the same person. Hearing this, Xiangyi breathed a sigh of relief. However, looking at Shui's calm attitude, Xiangyi felt that he knew something. Just as she was about to ask, someone knocked on the door. Bang bang bang. Following that was a familiar silly voice. Little Xiangyi, open the door. I know you're in there. Look at what you've done. Stupid girl, as your uncle, I must teach you a lesson today. It was Xiangfeng, who had rushed over after hearing the news. When he saw the trending topic, he almost fainted from anger. Creak. The door opened. Xiangfeng was about to criticize her as an elder, but he suddenly met the girl's red eyes and uneasy and pitiful appearance. Xiangfeng. Ahem, actually I thought about it. It's not a big deal. Chapter 309. Xiangyi was dumbfounded. Huh. Xiangfeng said righteously. Uncle, how can you not believe our little Xiangyi? It's a misunderstanding. It must be a misunderstanding. Okay, don't cry. Uncle will take you to eat your favorite junk food. Xiangyi clenched her little fists. She was ready to be scolded, but she didn't expect such a turn of events. The little girl nodded dizzily. 10 minutes later, Sangchen couldn't wait to come out of his room. He wanted to see how Shui had coaxed Xiangfeng. However, Shui was in the living room, but Xiangyi was nowhere to be seen. The bedroom door was open, and there was no sign of the girl. Sangchen gritted his teeth. Where's my sister? How did she coax him? Did he coax her away? Shui. Brother, before I answer your question, can you take a deep breath first? Sangchen. Shui. Xiangfeng is here. These 4 words naturally drew hatred. Sangchen's eyebrows twitched violently. He took Sister E to eat junk food. Sangchen. Location. Every word seemed to be squeezed out from between his teeth. Shui blinked. Brother, you have to pay for information, Sangchen sneered. I think you're still sleeping. You're not going to tell me? Then I'll beat you until you tell me. Seeing that the man was rolling up his sleeves, Shui said. He also brought iced milk tea and cola for Sister E. Sangchen gritted his teeth. Deal. In the parking garage. Although Xiangyi was the only one living in the manor, her brothers all had cars here. There were limited edition sports cars, motorcycles, and Xiangfeng's hovercar everywhere. In the most spacious off-road vehicle. Come little Xiangyi, eat this fried chicken while it's hot. And this strawberry cheese smoothie, it's amazing. Do you want an iced cola? Do you want to try drinking from 2 straws at the same time? You'll get double the happiness. Xiangfeng was frantically promoting. He had been busy with work recently. After all, he was also a domineering CEO. It had been a long time since he last visited his little niece. It wasn't easy for her to come here. Of course, she had to bring delicious food for her niece. His original plan was to punish Xiangyi first. Society didn't punish her, but he, her biological uncle, would do it himself. Coaxing after hitting. Now he was just skipping the step of beating him up. There was nothing wrong with rounding it up. Xiangyi was like a little hamster, nestled in the back seat, eating happily. This cheap, thick, and especially rich smell of food additives and essence. It was so delicious. The girl who was calm and collected in front of outsiders let herself loose in front of her little uncle. She drank milk tea and cola, and her little legs fluttered in happiness. Uncle, you're so nice. At this moment, little uncle was the best person in the world. He didn't accept any rebuttals. Xiangfeng looked at her with eyes full of affection. Look at you, you're as thin as a piece of paper. Let me tell you, you should gain at least 5 kilograms. Little girls need to be white and chubby to be cute. Xiangyi's cheeks puffed up. I've already gained several kilograms. Xiangfeng picked through the food bag. This bag is the devil's spicy strips. The last time I ate spicy food, I cried. Should I open one for you? The little girl nodded like she was pounding garlic. The next second, the car window was knocked on. Xiangyi held her breath, thinking that there was an anti-peeping film on the car window. He couldn't see her. Xiangfeng was also nervous and accidentally blurted out. There's no one in the car, there's really no one. Xiangyi, who was completely unprepared. Chapter 310. Xiangfeng made up for it. It's just me. Really? Xiangyi. She looked at her little uncle, her eyes full of pain. Her big brother's cold, demonic voice came from outside the car window. I advise the two of you not to make any futile resistance. Open the door. Xiangfeng was quick-witted. Actually, I'm in the car next door. Xiangyi. She couldn't bear to look. She really couldn't bear to look. The fried chicken in her hand didn't even taste good anymore. I'll count to 3. If you don't open the door, don't blame me for being rude. Sungchen's voice was as cold as ice. 3. Before he could count, the uncle and nephew immediately opened the door. They didn't even dare to think about resisting, let alone think about it. The rich, oily aroma of food filled the car. Sangchen only felt his temples twitch a few times. He crossed his arms and looked down at the scene from above. Xiangyi had fried chicken in her left hand and spicy strips in her right. It was obvious she was enjoying her meal. Xiangfeng had milk tea in his left hand and cola in his right. It was obvious he was feeding Xiangyi. Sangchen suddenly sneered. Uncle and nephew. Tremble. Xiangfeng was still responsible. He trembled as he said, "It's not about little Xiangyi. I forced her to eat it." Sangchen. Inverting right and wrong. That's a double crime. Xiangfeng's eyes widened. We're both adults. What's wrong with eating some snacks? Sangchen, stubborn. That's a double crime. Xiangfeng was instantly terrified. I was wrong. I really know. I apologize to you on behalf of little Xiangyi and myself. Sangchen, hypocrisy. That's a triple crime. Xiangfeng. So everything I say is wrong. You come down. This sentence was directed at Xiangfeng. Xiangyi shrank behind him and looked at him with pleading eyes. Little uncle, don't go. Xiangfeng's eyes were filled with tears. Little Xiangyi, uncle loves you the most. Don't worry, uncle will never abandon you. We, uncle and nephew, will share riches and tribulations together. Let's share fried chicken and cola. Xiangyi was extremely touched. Her cherry lips opened and closed as if she wanted to say something. In just an instant, Xiangfeng decisively got out of the car from the other side and ran away like a wisp of smoke. The speed at which those legs moved was even faster than that of a rabbit's. If he doubled his speed, he would probably leave behind afterimages. She wondered what he had been through all these years. Xiangyi. So the love between family members will disappear, right? He turned his neck stiffly and met his eldest brother's gaze. The man's tall figure was hidden in the dim light of the garage. His legs were long and straight, and his whole body exuded a sense of oppression that had existed since he was young. He lowered his eyes, exuding a sharp and intimidating aura. Little rabbit. Continue shaking, Sangchen said slowly. Eat. Why aren't you eating? Fried chicken won't taste good when it's cold. Xiangyi's eyes were filled with horror. Her hand trembled, and she almost dropped the fried chicken. Brother. Now you know how to call me brother? What were you doing earlier? The corners of Sangchen's mouth curled downward, full of cold disdain. His irritable mood couldn't be suppressed and rose from his heart, especially when he saw the cold and spicy food. It was like a ball of fire was burning unscrupulously. His tone became harsh and cold. Xiangyi, you've really grown up. You ran away from home without a word and didn't even say goodbye when you came home. You'd rather be comforted by that dog of a man, Shui, than come find me? Do you still see me as your big brother? Chapter 311. Xiangyi was dumbfounded. She remained motionless as she held the fried chicken and spicy sticks in her hand. A few seconds later, she gradually came to her senses. Big brother meant, she had a guess but she wasn't sure. Sangchen kept a straight face, and was about to continue lecturing her when the girl suddenly burped cutely. Xiangyi. Sangchen. Indeed, carbonated drinks like cola shouldn't be drunk too much. With the hiccup interrupting, Sangchen turned his face and covered his thin lips with his hand. Xiangyi didn't know if it was her imagination, but she felt that her big brother was secretly laughing. Ahem. Sangchen cleared his throat and said fiercely, Do you know what you did wrong? Xiangyi nodded. Do you still dare to run away from home next time? Xiangyi shook her head. Sangchen was satisfied. Okay, let's eat fried chicken. Xiangyi looked at him in disbelief, thinking that she had heard wrong. Can I eat it? The girl asked timidly. Sangchen was a little confused. Was he some kind of demon king? Why was she so scared of him every time she saw him? It was understandable that his little uncle and the others were scared of him. It was normal for men to fight when they didn't like each other. However, had he ever laid a finger on his little sister since she was young? Every time, she would cry before he could scold her. He was so scared that he didn't even dare to speak loudly to her. Xiangyi took a bite of the fried chicken tentatively. Seeing that her big brother's expression was normal, she quickly took a few more bites. Sob, I can't believe I dared to eat junk food in front of big brother in my lifetime. This scene could be written into the story of how she was weak and pitiful under the control of the Xiang family's Chen. However, when she was about to eat the spicy sticks, her big brother mercilessly took them away. You can't eat spicy or cold food. Seeing his little sister's face pucker up, Sangchen's heart softened. Then he returned to his cold and heartless self. But won't these go to waste? Xiangyi said softly. Sangchen was silent for 2 seconds. Excuse me. Huh. Make some space for me, the man said indifferently. He sat down beside her and expressionlessly took a bite of the spicy strip. TSK. It was indeed trash. Xiangyi looked at him eagerly. Is it delicious? Sangchen said with disdain. It tastes awful. Xiangyi. If it's disgusting, why don't you give it to me? Why do you want to torture yourself and me? That milk tea. Let's drink it at room temperature. Xiangyi. What soul would there be left in iced milk tea and iced cola if they were placed at room temperature? What are you looking at? Don't look. Sangchen felt that his tone was too rigid and serious. He lowered his voice and said, You're still acting. Don't you know that your period is coming soon? Xiangyi, *****. Big brother actually remembered this? Sangchen silently ate a few mouthfuls of the spicy strip. The more he ate, the deeper his frown became. What the hell? Was this something that humans ate? His taste buds were very sensitive. He could only taste the additives and low-quality oil. Big brother. The girl's delicate and weak voice sounded in his ears. It was small and timid. Xiangyi licked the corner of her lips. Did she really do something to you? If they didn't talk about it, it would become a knot between her and her brother for the rest of their lives. The siblings had a tacit understanding. Sangchen immediately understood who she was referring to. Thinking of that ridiculous scene, his jaw tightened. His long and narrow eyes outlined an earth-shattering coldness. Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I can't tell who is my sister? Who is the imposter? Chapter 312. That night, Sangchen saw Xiangyi at the hospital. When he found out that his sister had been in a car accident, he pushed aside all his work and rushed to the hospital immediately. After watching over his sister for a few hours, he was a little sleepy and slept on the guest bed next to her. Later, the imposter woke up and looked at him on the edge of the bed. Sangchen opened his eyes and found that she was looking at him strangely. Sangchen didn't think much of it at first and asked in a low voice, Are you hungry? Do you want some porridge? The girl blinked and said in a sweet voice, Brother, you're so nice. Sangchen immediately sensed that something was wrong. Brother, I want you to sleep with me for a while. The girl climbed onto the bed nimbly and snuggled into the man's arms. She raised her hand and slid it to his sleeve, rubbing it ambiguously. That person was using the face of his closest sister, but she was saying the most disgusting words. Sangchen grabbed her neck. His body was covered in frost, and the coldness could crush everything. He was domineering and domineering. Where did you take my sister? The imposter's eyes widened in horror. He tightened his grip, and the imposter's face turned red. She felt suffocated at the last moment. Rationality returned. Sangchen retracted his hand, his chest heaving violently. I'll ask again. Where is my sister? The imposter realized that he wouldn't really do anything to her, so she pretended to be deaf and mute and refused to answer. Later, Sangchen took her to see the best psychiatrist abroad. He, who was a firm believer in materialism, even turned to theology for help. There was no progress until a Taoist priest, who had gone into seclusion for a long time, accepted a favor from Grandpa Xiang and personally came to a conclusion. External evil had entered her body. The common saying was that she had been possessed by something unclean. Sangchen smoked for most of the night before he accepted this reality. Later, he came up with a bunch of regulations to restrict Xiangyi's activities. However, there was no need to tell his sister this. Sangchen took out a tissue and handed it to her. "Wipe your mouth." Xiangyi did as she was told. "Sangchen, Xiangli told me about his conjecture, and I agree with him." Xiangyi was slightly stunned. In other words, Big Brother also felt that that person would come back? Since the main system exists to help you travel between different worlds, why can't you complain about such a bug? Can you still contact the main system? This reminded Xiangyi that she couldn't do it now, but Xiao Naofu might be able to. It seemed that it was time to pick up Xiao Naofu and bring him home. "I'll think of something." Now that the knot in her heart had been untied, she had a plan for what to do next. Xiangyi sniffled and said pitifully, "Big Brother, if only our whole family could wear it together." Sangchen frowned. "Why? Did someone bully you?" "Yes. I've been beaten so many times. Especially in the Wuxia and Xianxia worlds." Perhaps in Xiangyi's heart, her big brother was the most trustworthy and dependable. She was like a childish child who would complain to her parents. "If you were there, it would definitely be our family beating others up." Sangchen. So what kind of image did his sister have of him? Xiangyi was still fantasizing. "Big brother, you're in charge of beating people up. Second brother is in charge of trapping people. Third brother is in charge of bullying people. Fourth brother is in charge of being fierce. And little uncle, is in charge of being a mascot?" She thought for a moment and said hesitantly, "How about we don't bring him along?" "Tsk." A soft, hoarse, and seductive sound was heard. Every inch of the man's sharp edges softened, stretching into a happy and rare gentle arc. "Yes." Big Brother smiled. Chapter 313. Xiangyi's courage grew a little. She was so nervous that her toes curled up. She asked tentatively, "Then can I have a sip of milk tea? Just one sip really." Sangchen raised his eyebrows. He pulled out a wet towel and patiently wiped his slender fingers clean. Just as Xiangyi was feeling disheartened, she heard two words that were like the sound of nature. "Drink it." "Xiangyi!" Exclamation point. She happily picked up the milk tea and took a big sip with her cheeks puffed up. Sangchen watched as she drank a third of the milk tea. She really took a sip. Sangchen. Sensing her brother's gaze, Xiangyi put down the milk tea reservedly and gulped it down. She burped because she was too full. However, a bright smile bloomed on her face. From today onwards, she was the fiercest child in the Xiang family. Not only did she eat fried chicken in front of her brother, but she also drank milk tea in front of him. Sangchen looked at her sweet smile and swallowed the scolding that was about to come out of his mouth. Forget it, forget it. If she was naughty, then so be it. After all, his little sister needed to be pampered. Of course, he still needed to teach his little uncle a lesson. Sangchen thought of business and said calmly, "Don't worry about the rumors on Weibo. I'll take care of them." Xiangyi looked at him blankly. "You didn't look at Weibo?" No, she didn't look at it after posting the recipe. Sangchen patted her head. "It's good that you didn't look at it. It should be back to normal tomorrow." He would never allow his little sister to take the blame for an imposter. Xiangyi protested in a low voice. "Brother, that's not how you pat someone's head." Sangchen narrowed his eyes. "Oh, if you pat my head so hard, I'll go bald." Sangchen stared at her for a few seconds and sneered. "So other than me, who else touched your head?" "Shui? Xiangyi's smile gradually disappeared. When she came back to her senses, she imitated her uncle's actions and jumped out of the car from the other side. She ran forward barefooted, almost tripping over Xiangfeng's shoes as she ran. "Sangchen." He wanted to maintain his expressionless face, but he couldn't hold it in, and his thin lips curled up slightly. "Tsk, silly rabbit." Just as the public opinion was gradually fermenting and the entire internet was denouncing Xiangyi, a Weibo post from a well-known relationship blogger completely brought the matter of Xiangyi climbing into her brother's bed to a climax. Qing He Sheng Sheng Vi. As a girl, the first thing you have to learn is self-respect, self-cleanliness, and self-love. If you can't even do these things, how could other people respect and cherish you? Forgive me for being blunt, but the female celebrity who caused such an uproar today ignored ethics and crossed the bottom line of human nature. Such behavior is really shameful. Celebrities in the entertainment industry are public figures. Any bad behavior will be magnified and have a great impact on society. Think about it. If someone imitates the female celebrity's behavior, has a messy private life, and even acts inappropriately to her brother, uncle, and father, how much social unrest will that cause? Entertainment is paramount, but entertainment should also have a bottom line. I strongly recommend that artists with such bad behavior be banned. Keep the entertainment industry clean. This blogger often made sharp comments on social issues and had many fans. Once this Weibo post was posted, it was regarded as the Bible and truth by netizens, becoming the best weapon to attack Xiangyi. However, at 8 o'clock in the evening, Linchen Law Office's official Weibo post was cold and concise. Linchen Law Office, regarding Ms. Xiangyi's statement, is as follows. Chapter 3:14. Apart from that, there were no other unnecessary words. There was only a lawyer's letter with an official seal. In the lawyer's letter, there was only one person and one incident. Qin Wanyan was spreading rumors. Any of the following circumstances shall be deemed as fabricating facts to slander others as stipulated in the first paragraph of Article 246 of the Criminal Law. 1. Fabricating facts to damage another person's reputation and spreading them on the internet, or organizing or instructing people. This lawyer's letter could be said to be a precise strike. The netizens were stunned. How? How did it become a rumor? Wasn't spreading rumors something that only marketing accounts would do? Qin Wanyan was a celebrity. How could a celebrity spread rumors? Qin Wanyan was also dumbfounded. Her manager called to reprimand her. Can you be any more stupid? Even if you want to post it, you should find a marketing account and do it yourself. Aren't you asking for trouble? Don't you know that Big Brother Xiangyi is the top lawyer in the country? Qin Wanyan was speechless. Marketing accounts were not as influential as celebrities. She could only achieve the best results if she posted and deleted it instantly. Also, Xiangyi said that her brother hated her to the core. He wouldn't even talk to her, let alone stand up for her. But now why did sanction appear? He even gave her a lawyer's letter as a warning. Qin Wanyan cursed in her heart. Didn't she just post something on Weibo? Did it have to escalate to the level of the law? I'll handle it properly. Don't worry. With that, Qin Wanyan hung up the phone. After pondering for a while, she wrote a Weibo post and posted it. Qin Wanyan V. I'm very sorry for what happened. I didn't expect my phone information to be leaked. I also didn't expect that someone would hack my account and post my chat with Xiangyi. She and I used to be good friends. Even though we're drifting apart, I still send her my blessings. After the incident, I tried to contact her to apologize, but she didn't respond to me. As for spreading rumors, it wasn't my intention, and it wasn't my doing. The law is fair, but some people choose to use the law to defend justice, while others choose to use the law to protect their own interests. Forget it, there's nothing to say. I can apologize for my mistake, but... Xiangyi, can you reply to me on WeChat? The attached picture was a chat between her and Xiangyi. She had been asking about Xiangyi's well-being the whole time, and after the instant deletion incident, she had indeed apologized in a sincere tone. However, Xiangyi didn't reply from beginning to end. Just as Qin Wanyan expected, the influence of an artist was much greater than any marketing account. The onlookers rushed over and were instantly brainwashed by her White Lotus tricks. Look, Qin Wanyan is so pitiful. Immortal Qin is so pitiful. Not only did her account get hacked, but the vase fairy still hasn't replied to her message. How shameless. Did anyone notice that Yin Yan's nickname for Xiangyi is AAA with a star? She really treats Xiangyi as a friend. Everything else aside, isn't it too disgusting not to reply? It's fine if she doesn't come back for a day or two, but she hasn't come back for many days. What's the meaning of this? Does she really think that she's an A-list celebrity after gaining some popularity from participating in a lousy variety show? Qin Wanyan's fans cursed and scolded her one after another. Unexpectedly, a few minutes later, someone posted a picture. Qin Wanyan's IP address on Weibo had never changed. In other words, her account wasn't hacked at all. In an instant, there was an uproar on the internet. Chapter 315. What kind of face slapping was this? One moment she posted on Weibo, the next she exposed her IP address. It was as if she was waiting for her prey. Qin Wanyan, who saw that Weibo post, was completely dumbfounded. Am I being targeted? Why are they so vicious? How dare they embarrass me in front of so many netizens? Her manager was the one who was fuming mad. Ever since she started working with Qin Wanyan, her manager had realized that she was a troublemaker. Fortunately, her methods were very effective, and she was able to get the best resources every time. For example, she wasn't very popular at first, but she and Xiangyi had been hyped up a few times. She even created an alternate account to infiltrate Xiangyi's fan club, and turned a large number of fans to become her fans. She also made use of Xiangyi's stupidity to set off her fairy-like image, and obtained a lot of resources that didn't belong to her in the first place. Her manager felt that it wasn't a bad thing for an artist to be ambitious and know how to plan for herself, so she let her be. She didn't expect that although she would be late, it would definitely happen. From now on, I'm confiscating your Weibo account. After yelling at Qin Wanyan, she hurriedly thought of a way to deal with public relations. Not long after, the manager used her own Weibo account to post a public relations statement that she had rushed out at the last minute. Fatty who loves to eat hot pot v. Public opinion can melt gold. Rumors are the greatest harm to artists. Those who know Qin Wanyan will naturally understand what kind of person she is. I hope everyone won't believe the rumors, spread them, or create them. Our team will use the law as a weapon to protect our precious artist and uphold justice. Thank you, everyone. Those with a discerning eye could tell that the post was sent to the fans. Sure enough, the fans said, "Of course we believe in our goddess Qin." However, the passers-by couldn't help but mock her. I'm laughing. Others use the law for their own personal gain. But you use the law to uphold justice? Ha 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 ha. This is a huge double standard. You're making it sound so dignified. Why don't you send a lawyer's letter? Learn from Vase Fairy's efficiency. Do you really think lawyers are that efficient in real life? Don't compare yourself to Lynch and law firm. That's the ceiling of the industry. Lawyer Songchen's cases can be found online. He's really a big shot. I suggest that all law students, of course, you can memorize the entire text. The wind immediately changed direction. Some people began to doubt the authenticity of Qin Wanyan's screenshots, but even more people had preconceived notions. It's just a dogfight. Qin Wanyan is a white lotus, and the Vase Fairy isn't anything good either. Come on, flirting with men and climbing into their beds were all exposed by the Xiang actress herself. It's not like someone put a knife to her neck and said it. Stop washing. There was no way to wash it clean. Don't think that you can distort the truth just because you're powerful. The internet has memories. Is it that awesome to have a lawyer as a brother? Just wait and see, the Vase Fairy's family will never respond again. After all, this is considered a scandal of a wealthy family. Who in high society would be so shameless? The next second, someone exclaimed, "Holy sh**t. Xiangyi's big brother seemed to have personally responded. Search for Big Brother Tutu and you'll see." That night, countless netizens discovered Songchen's Weibo account. Tutu's Big Brother v. All the incidents are complications of amnesia. Our little bunny lost her memory after a car accident 376 days ago. Attached are the hospital records and the diagnosis of the psychiatrist and psychiatrist, as well as a comparison video of her before and after she lost her memory. Chapter 316. Netizens. Huh? Amnesia? Nowadays, everyone received a large number of pieces of information every day. Weibo's trending topics changed many times a day. Sometimes, netizens would even forget what they had seen. However, there were still those with good memories. They quickly explained to everyone that Dr. Xiang Li once said that Xiangyi had amnesia for a year. Everyone came to a sudden realization. So, all the clues had been linked together? They clicked on the pictures. Songchen's pictures were just like him. Logical, cold and concise. Medical records, diagnoses, and screenshots of the hospital or the psychological clinic. Some were in Chinese, some were in foreign languages, and some were in electronic files. Every picture was taken with the time, which couldn't be faked. These could be said to be irrefutable evidence. Seeing these pictures, many netizens realized that they had been played like monkeys, and even used as a tool. Some impulsive ones had already rushed to Qin Wanyan's Weibo to start Zhuan mode. There were also some who clicked on the second Weibo post, which was the surveillance video that Sangchen had posted. At the beginning of the video, there was a warm scene. It looked like a family dinner. The eldest brother was Sangchen, the second brother Xiang Li, the third brother Xiang Qi, the fourth brother Xiang Yu, and a simple-looking man who didn't look very smart. The whole family was good-looking. Xiang Yi in the video had slightly rounder cheeks than she was now. She was wearing a lovely cotton dress, and her hair was draped over her shoulders. She smiled very gently. "Little Xiang Yi, happy birthday. This is a gift from your uncle." The simple-looking man was the first to take out a gift box. "This is a lifetime VIP card for your favorite ice cream brand." In the next second, all four brothers looked at him with murderous gazes. Sangchen snorted coldly. Seeing that it was his sister's birthday, he didn't argue with him. The second to present a gift was Xiang Yu. Sister, this is a game console I'm giving you. It's a limited edition. We can play games together in the future." Then came Xiang Qi, who said in a disdainful tone, "Your dress is too old-fashioned. Here, wear the new dress I made for you. I've embroidered many little flowers for you." Then it was Xiang Li's turn. The man pushed his glasses and said gently, "Recently, I wrote a new artificial intelligence program. It's quite useful for checking recipes and matching nutritional information. I installed it in this stereo." The last one was Sangchen. The man's face was cold and his eyes were sharp. He threw a folded piece of white paper over in a domineering manner. "Write whatever you want." The others, "How could this be? Xiang Chunchen, you're cheating." However, when faced with Sangchen's frosty gaze, no one dared to say anything. All right, it's time to blow out the candles. Little Xiangyi, quickly make a wish." Xiangyi blinked and clasped her hands together. "I hope that our family can still be together next year." The video went black as it switched to the second half of the video. It was the conversation between Xiangyi and her brothers after she lost her memories. "You're my brother? You're my brother too? Then shouldn't you guys give me some pocket money? I just saw a bracelet studded with diamonds. It's so shiny and beautiful." It was clearly the same face, but from her demeanor to her tone, even her body movements were different. The comments section immediately turned into a huddle. F***ck, I'm shivering. It feels like a supernatural event. Don't talk about acting. If the vase fairy had such acting skills, she would have won the Best Actress award long ago. Oh my god, I thought of a possibility. Maybe it's not amnesia. She's just been possessed by a weasel. Chapter 317. In just a few minutes, the weasel comment was liked and pushed to the top of the list. "Delete it, let me send a dog head. How can you say that? Have you forgotten that you don't need to become a spirit after the founding of the country? F***ck, I'm going to laugh myself to death in the comments section sooner or later. You guys can call her a fox spirit or a lotus spirit, but what the hell is a weasel spirit?" It had to be said that Sangchen was too fast, accurate, and ruthless. First, a lawyer's letter was sent to solve the source of the rumors. Then evidence was sent to clarify the truth of the rumors. With the video as evidence, 99% of the netizens believed that Xiangyi had lost her memory. No one would believe him if he said that he had transmigrated quickly, but the complications of amnesia made sense in medical science. In a sense, it was not a problem to interpret the imposter as a disease. The public opinion had reversed. Memory loss is really uncontrollable. To be honest, if this happened to a male celebrity, would everyone still be so agitated? A scumbag man could be forgiven, but a scumbag woman had to be nailed to the pillar of shame? Don't argue. If you argue, you are right. I went to check. The complications of amnesia are quite scary. Some people have a drastic change in temperament, some have multiple personalities, and some have suddenly become top students. I can only say that the world is full of strange things. Most people felt that even if Xiangyi did something after losing her memory, she would only hurt her own family. His family didn't say anything, so why should a group of outsiders worry about it? Let's scold Qin Wanyan first. In no time at all, Qin Wanyan's Weibo received more than 100,000 comments. This was the highest number of comments she'd ever received. Annual White Lotus Award winner. Qin Wanyan. Is it fun to treat us like idiots? Shameless. What kind of good sister are you? Do you feel good stabbing people? Qin Wanyan's manager knew how to operate the fandom very well. From time to time, she would abuse her fans. She also implemented strict management of her fans. Not only was her fighting power amazing, but she was also extremely loyal. The fans were not convinced. They grabbed onto Xiangyi's remaining flaws and scolded. Then no matter what our immortal Qin did wrong, Xiangyi should have replied to the message. Then, everyone realized that Shui had updated her status. Shui v. Sister Yi's account was registered a year after she lost her memory. She hasn't used it since she recovered. Qin Wanyan's fans were speechless. It wasn't that he didn't want to reply, but that he didn't even use this account. If they were really good friends, how could Qin Wanyan not know about this? If she knew about it and still sent messages to the air every day, wouldn't she be a self-directed actor? The enraged netizens posted tens of thousands of comments, and even killed Qin Wanyan's account. Her fans were as quiet as chickens, and not many people responded to the big fans' calls for a fight. While the netizens were venting their frustrations on Qin Wanyan's Weibo, there were two groups of people who were very unique. This wave was made up of Xiangyi's new sister-in-law fans. They were mainly gathered under Songchen's Weibo post about the family gathering. Sorry, I've already registered my marriage with my husband Tutu. Bah! My child with Chun Chun is already 3 years old. I announced that I'm now Xiangyi's sister-in-law fan. I'm a big sister-in-law, second sister-in-law, third sister-in-law, and fourth sister-in-law. The other wave was naturally made up of Microscope Girl, Ace Picker, and Untimely Couple fans. Chapter 318. These fans naturally gathered under Shui's Weibo account. I'm screaming like a groundhog every day. Shui is so spoiled. He stared at his wife like a maniac during the livestream, and now he's protecting his wife like a maniac after the livestream. I'm going to faint from all the kowtowing. First, he took the lead to say that they're a couple. Then he defended Sister E on Weibo. Shui's sister E, lock him up. In my imagination, they're already married with 2 children. Thank you. The most exciting thing for the couple's fans was a wave of unexpected sweets. Shui and Xiangyi were featured on the cover of My Style, which was a set of 9 grid photos that attracted countless fans. Shui was dressed in a black retro suit and had a rare seductive look on his face. However, he managed to hold his charm well. The solo photos included the scene of him biting a petal, the elegant and noble moment when he cut the steak, and the extremely invasive close-up of his gaze under the candlelight. The Shui sisters were at the forefront. Shui is so handsome that he's like a shark. This man is so good at taking photos. He's the most demonic vampire in history. I'm at the scene. I'm that petal. Shui's kiss is so domineering. I'm so shy. Xiangyi was dressed in a gorgeous cream yellow dress. Her makeup was clear, and her eyes were clean. She looked exactly like the princess on the run that was trending on the internet recently. The solo photos included a close-up of her smile, a moment of her holding the hem of her dress while strolling in the forest, and a fairy tale-like scene of a deer kissing her fingertips. Xiangyi's fans immediately came forward to report. Wow, Sister E is such a peerless fairy. Mommy loves you. You look so obedient when you're feeding the deer. Mommy forbids you from showing your collarbone. Cover it up. Your old mother is so worried. However, the most popular photo was the cover of the couple. The first photo was of the noble-like vampire, and the innocent the little princess looking at each other for the first time in the forest. In the second photo, the scene was changed to the castle. Shui was holding the back of Xiangyi's head, and was about to kiss her. The third picture was a reflection in the mirror. His slender and well-defined large hand was intertwined with her slender and milky white hand, and their fingers were tightly intertwined. The comments section exploded. Not only were the fans stunned, even the passers-by were stunned. I don't care. Wedding photos. This is the wedding photo. Mom, I'm serious. Untimely super. Level. Sweet. Why are you holding hands? Do you think I'm lacking in traffic? Kiss. Give me a kiss. Shurindi, can you do it? If you can't, let me do it. Seeing that this Weibo post was extremely popular, it didn't take long for the official Weibo account to release a video. It was edited with behind-the-scenes footage from the shooting. With the addition of filters, the colors were retro and classy. Sophia's aesthetic was enough to make people slap the table in praise. As for the music, he chose a piano and violin ensemble. The video had a complete plot, from the vampire and the little princess's first encounter to their passionate love, to their sinking into darkness. At first, the music was a soothing and melodious melody, but then it turned into a passionate tango. Slowly, it turned lingering and affectionate, and then it turned gloomy. With the addition of filters and music, the plot was so torturous that it made people's hearts clench. However, at the end of the video, the man held the back of the girl's head in his arms and pulled her into his arms. The camera deliberately gave him a close-up. His Adam's apple rolled sexily as he licked the corners of his pale lips. The video came to an abrupt end. Untimely Super CP fans. It's New Year, it's New Year. Someone, set off 100,000 firecrackers for me. Sisters, let's flood the screen with me. He did it, he did it. Shui finally did it. Chapter 319. It had to be said that the chemistry between Shui and Xiangyi was too strong. Even if they weren't fans of the couple, they would definitely buy this issue's cover. There were even fashion bloggers who praised this set of 9 palaces to the sky. Hades's designs never disappoint. The precise tailoring and flowing folds give this escaped princess dress a new definition. The details are full of charm. I believe that not only the deer in the woods, but every woman will be deeply mesmerized by it. Shui's 3-piece black suit was designed by the designer George in the 90s. It's a true out-of-print vintage ready-to-wear suit. After the makeover, it looks more gentlemanly and elegant. It's a seamless fusion of classic and modern fashion. Shui is indeed a famous clothes hanger. He has his own unique charm. My style is as brilliant as ever. Miss Sophia has shown us her excellent American businesswoman skills. She has changed the overly sweet style of the traditional 2-person magazine cover into a dark retro style that returns to the magnificence and extravagance of the medieval aristocratic style. The interpretation of the 2 models doesn't make the film appear superficial. Instead, it brings about a sweet and sadistic story. Seeing that the popularity and reputation of the magazine had skyrocketed, the headquarters of the magazine immediately decided to print more copies of this issue. As for the part where the little princess flirted with the vampire, it was used as the final trump card. In the manner, after some discussion, the live stream was restarted. Considering that the clarification on Weibo might not be seen by every netizen, Li Jinyu felt that it would be better to use a live stream to clarify the matter a second time. In addition, in order to ease public opinion, he first released a topic that was enough to arouse everyone's emotions. Dear viewers, this Friday at 9 o'clock in the evening, the edited version of 2 Under One Roof will premiere on all major video websites. I hope that everyone can give us some face. When the time comes, click on it and leave a comment. Our production team will kneel down and thank you. Li Jinyu spoke in a cadence as if he was performing a crosstalk. Because he was easily frightened, he had also gained a lot of daddy fans since the start of the live stream. In an instant. Son, the ground is cold. 2 hours of kneeling should be enough. Daddy wants to see a slideshow, can you arrange it quickly? Watching other shows, the director treats me like an audience member. Watching Two Under One Roof, I treat the director like a trash. There's only one word to describe it. Awesome. Ha 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 popped up on the bullet screen. The atmosphere was very harmonious. However, when the camera panned to Xiangyi, it was inevitable that there would be some scolding. These people were a step too slow and didn't see Lin Chen Law Firm and Songchen's 2 Weibo posts. They were still mocking him in a sarcastic manner. No one would dare to refute that the Vase Fairy is a dumb artist, right? Ha ha ha, I've never seen a celebrity who's trending every day and doesn't have many fans protecting her. Not only do they have no fans, but their agency is also dead. This couple's fans are still bragging about how they're well matched in terms of social status. Is there anyone who doesn't know that the Vase Fairy signed an overbearing contract with the company? The company will take 90% of the profits, and the remaining 10% will be called personal income tax. The worst part is that you have to pay 100 million yuan for terminating the contract, hehe. Xiang Feng was originally watching the live stream with his headphones on, and wasn't in the frame. However, as soon as he saw the foul language posted by the netizens, he immediately retorted. After a few words, Xiang Feng received a notification: frowny face, your account has been banned. Xiang Feng. Chapter 320. I, the domineering CEO, the owner of the Xingchen app, have been banned again? What kind of stupid review is this? Stupid restriction. Stupid programmer. Deduct their salaries. Deduct their salaries. Xiang Feng was infuriated when he heard his little niece's soft and gentle voice. Uncle, do you drink milk tea? Xiang Feng was speechless. Rubbish livestream. I'm not watching it anymore. Happy drink, here I come. After Xiangyi adjusted her mood, she began to prepare the milk tea. The Xiang family had a sweet taste, especially her uncle, who loved sweets the most. Xiangyi had prepared all kinds of ingredients in advance. After the livestream began, she simply boiled the milk tea in a small pot and explained the process while cooking. Shui and Sangchen remained silent most of the time, occasionally speaking up to support her. The girl's tone was gentle and her movements were also unhurried, which was pleasing to the eye. First, she boiled the black tea until it was bright orange-red. Then, she poured it into a container prepared by the side and filtered the tea leaves. Then, she boiled the milk until it was warm and melted a few pieces of rock sugar. Xiangyi stirred and said, my brother and Shui don't like things that are too sweet, so the milk tea I made isn't very sweet. The ingredients are a bit sweeter, so if you want to have a sweet taste, you can add more ingredients. In Two Under One Roof, Xiangyi's presence was actually very insignificant apart from her cooking. She always seemed aloof from worldly affairs. She wouldn't steal the limelight, nor would she compete with the guests for anything. However, such a personality was both good and bad. Without a presence, it often gave people the impression that she was easy to bully. This was also one of the reasons why so many anti-fans were unscrupulously criticizing her. Many netizens suddenly realized that Xiangyi seemed to have spoken the most tonight, while cooking the milk tea. This also allowed more people to recognize her. Just listening to her speak made them feel inexplicably healed. Li Jinyu promptly cued her. Sister E, some viewers are asking if you bought the ingredients or made them yourself. Vis. Xiangyi raised her hand and pointed at the ingredients section. She had prepared a sumptuous meal, including pudding, taro balls, mashed taro, roasted immortal grass, red beans, oats, purple rice. Of course, there was also the soul of milk tea, pearls. I just did it casually. The method is actually very simple. Take pearls for example. Boil brown sugar in water, pour it into tapioca starch, and stir it into a ball like kneading dough. Then roll it into a small ball and cook it slowly. The method of making taro balls is to steam sweet potatoes until they are cooked, press them into a paste, and then add an appropriate amount of sweet potato powder. The netizens in the live stream. I've already recorded it. I want to cook it too. My brain can learn as soon as it's learned, my hands can't do as soon as it's done. Boohoo, Xiangyi is actually so gentle. I like listening to her speak so much, it's so comfortable. Pretty sister, please turn on your mic more in the future. I like it even if you tell me the recipe. Li Jinyu sighed with emotion as he watched Xiangyi introduce the milk tea snacks to the audience, and the audience's favorable impression of her increased. Live streaming was a double-edged sword. Some people gained countless fans after live streaming, while others lost their fans after live streaming. Perhaps he had been wrong all along. He had thought that Xiangyi would be low-key so as not to attract hate. But now, it seemed that letting her express herself naturally was far better than any other method to attract fans. Ding dong! The electric cooker's timer sounded. The milk and black tea were mixed and boiled to about 80 degrees before stopping. Xiangyi first filled a cup for her little uncle. Xiang Feng hurriedly stuffed it into Songchen's hands like a hot potato. Little Chen, you drink first. No wonder he was the #1 lackey in the Xiang family. Chapter 321. Sangchen took it with a straight face and took a sip. The aroma of the tea was refreshing and rich in milk. It had a smooth and refreshing texture. The sweetness was just right for him. Although Sangchen didn't say anything, he silently took 2 more sips. The netizens. It must be delicious. Xiangyi's fans even typed with tears in their eyes. I didn't expect that one day I would not only crave Xiangyi's body but also his milk tea. Xiang Feng was given the second cup and excitedly added a bunch of condiments. He didn't even use a straw and simply gulped it down. Pearl taro pudding, sweetness plus 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 plus. It feels so good. He looked at Shui provocatively, thinking to himself, finally there's someone behind me. My little niece scooped it for me first. In the next second, Shui smiled slightly and raised his hand to add some condiments for himself. However, his hand suddenly trembled, and the spoon fell into the bowl. There was a look of helplessness in his dark eyes. Xiangyi hurriedly said, I'll add some for you, what do you want? Thank you, sistery. Shui looked at her innocently and gratefully. 2 spoonfuls of taro pudding, thank you. Xiangyi added 2 spoonfuls of taro pudding for him, and even placed a straw in it. She then carefully handed it to Shui. She almost fed it to him herself. Xiang Feng's eyes widened as if he had been struck by lightning. In the live stream. Ha, who is this silly man? Why is he so funny? I seem to have heard Xiangyi call him uncle before. He should be a relative. I don't believe it. Xiang Yi and Chen are obviously not on the same level as him. How can they be family? The netizens' disdain for Xiang Feng was almost overflowing. On Weibo, Tomato Entertainment's latest comment received tens of thousands of scoldings. In fact, it wasn't that Xiangyi didn't have any fans, but her fans were kind enough to criticize Tomato Entertainment instead of arguing with the haters. Even Qin Wanyan had a manager to defend her. No matter how bad the public relations effect was, at least her fans wouldn't be disappointed. But what about Tomato Entertainment? The company pretended to be dead. Their last post was a Weibo post about C7's new album being released on the music platform 2 weeks ago. Xiangyi's fans were completely enraged. Trash company, all you know is to make money. Daily question. Did Tomato Entertainment go bankrupt today? What kind of agency are you? Is the PR department dead? Just as the scolding reached its peak, Xiangyi's manager, Annan, suddenly posted on Weibo. Little Annan V. Everyone stop scolding. The dog company is going to be a human soon. When the fans saw that he was still standing by the company, they were furious. I think you don't want to be a human anymore. As Xiangyi's manager, what have you done? The next second. Tomato Entertainment's official Weibo account, which had been dead for a long time, finally came back to life. Tomato Entertainment v. 10 minutes ago, our company and Xingchen Entertainment have completed all the procedures. Now, the company's business and artists are all under Xingchen Entertainment. Our company will be starting a business restructuring today. The legal person of the new company is Xiangyi V. Hello, President Yi. Please take care of us in the future. All the fans were dumbfounded. They were dumbfounded. How did our sister Yi become President Yi? In the live stream, Xiang Feng received a notification from his assistant, telling Sister Yi that the acquisition of the company had been completed. Xiangyi was stunned. Seeing this, Xiang Feng was furious. What's with your expression? Is it that difficult to acquire a company? Your uncle is a domineering CEO. Chapter 322. Uncle, you've acquired my management company? The girl snapped back to reality and looked at Xiang Feng in disbelief. Xiang Chen glanced at him. She couldn't be bothered to diss him for being so inefficient. Xiang Feng put his hands on his hips and said arrogantly, "Aha, I've also registered your name as the legal representative. From now on, you'll be your own boss." In the live stream, some netizens stubbornly refused to believe it and ridiculed. "I'm dying of laughter. Do you know how much it costs to acquire a company? Tomato Entertainment may be a small company, but it's worth at least a few billion yuan. How can you buy it just like that? You're bragging to the heavens." The netizens who had already learned about the new drama on Weibo retorted, "You're not convinced? Keep it to yourself. Our sister E is fair, rich and beautiful. She has her brother to protect her and her uncle to dote on her. That's how domineering she is." The live stream was in an uproar, and some netizens who claimed to be professionals stepped forward to say frowny face this financial practitioner is laughing. Fixed assets and liquid assets are two different concepts. Billionaires don't mean that they can casually take out 100 million yuan in cash. This silly guy said that he wanted to buy a company worth a few billion yuan? Does he mean that he has at least billions, or even tens of billions of yuan in assets? This comment garnered the approval of many people. Exactly. How can such a silly guy be a domineering CEO? If Sanction said it, it would be more believable. But since it was Xiang Feng, no one believed it. Just as this small group of haters thought that they had grasped the truth and were ridiculing Xiangyi in the livestream, Xiangyi's fans, who had been quietly waiting for them for a long time, finally unhurriedly moved the Weibo post from Tomato Entertainment over. Tomato Entertainment. 10 minutes ago our company has the haters. The haters. TSK. That silly guy is actually a domineering CEO? That was already frustrating enough. However, Xiangyi's fans had become mischievous at some point. They deliberately popped up at this moment to mock. Congratulations to our sister E for turning from a social animal to a boss. Xiangyi, it's impossible for her to work. She can only be a domineering CEO. I want to shout. Little uncle is awesome. Okay, after yelling he was still so naive. Using a spoon to scrape the pearls and immortal roasting grass that can't be sucked up from the bottom of the cup is so realistic. All the trolls. Damn it, we've always been the ones angering others. I didn't expect to be angered today. On the sofa, Shui, who had been sitting beside Xiangyi and drinking milk tea obediently, suddenly asked, "Sister E, are you going to work hard to sign artists and start your career in the future?" Everyone knew that Shui's contract with Xingchen Entertainment was about to expire. Xiang Feng was confused. "You're trying to jump ship right in front of me, the overbearing CEO?" Xiangyi was a little embarrassed. "I don't think anyone wants to sign with my company." She knew a little about management and had practiced in the world of transmigration. However, it wasn't easy to sign an outstanding artist. The trolls caught their breath and typed angrily, "At least you have some self-awareness." At this moment, the sound of an argument suddenly came from outside the living room. "We came first, we want to see sister first." "Ha, I won't let you. You can choose whether you want to fight one-on-one or gang up on her." The live stream. Why do I feel like it's Chen Zai from C7? Isn't the C7 boy group a ready-made artist? All the trolls. Pfft. I'm so angry. Chapter 323. Xiangyi's eyelashes fluttered as she stood up. "We have guests, I'll go take a look." The cameraman followed closely behind her. The girl opened the door, and the cameraman happened to capture the scene outside. Sure enough, it was the 7 members of C7. The group's top celebrity, Jiang Chen, was arguing childishly with someone. Standing opposite him was the ruffian from Mingxi Boys High School a few days ago, Rong Huai. "Can't you be reasonable?" Jiang Chen clenched his fists in anger. Rong Huai still had a crew cut, and he shook his legs arrogantly. "I already said that you can choose whether it's a one-on-one or a group fight. I'm not even afraid. So what are you afraid of? Trash. Before he could say the word trash, he noticed Xiangyi smiling behind the door and changed his words. Spicy chicken tastes good. Jiangchen. Do you have? Are you crazy? His captain, Shen Xiai, blocked his words with his hand. Shen Xiai was the standard pretty boy, and he flashed a clean smile at Xiangyi. Hello, sister. Ahem, Jiangchen wanted to say. Do you have any Sichuan restaurants to recommend? Jiangchen's ears turned red. He didn't expect his sister to see him arguing with someone. Boo-hoo, he would definitely be hated. Ronghuai was also a little uncomfortable. He whistled and pretended to be calm, but his eyes kept sneaking glances at Xiangyi, revealing a guilty conscience. Unexpectedly, when Xiangyi opened her mouth, her tone was still gentle and soft. I made milk tea. Do you want to drink it? Ronghuai was the first to speak. Yes, yes, yes. C7. Me too. The two sides exchanged glances, and their swords were drawn. Xiangyi said helplessly, everyone has a share. Come in first. Ronghuai was tall, strong, and experienced in fighting. He pushed Jiangchen and the others aside, and was the first to enter the living room. C7. We were too careless. He actually beat us to it. However, even if we can't beat this troublesome brat, can we not beat our own members? Thus, the 7 of them squeezed together at the door to see who would enter first. If not for Xiangyi coming over to persuade them, they would probably have fought. It could be said that this group of souls were like plastic. Because there were too many people, the sofa could not accommodate all of them, so the younger brothers all sat on the floor. Sitting on the sofa, Xiangfeng, Sangchen, and Xiangfeng looked down at everyone. Xiangfeng was envious. If I were 10 years younger, my skin would be as good. Sangchen Shui chuckled. Do you two think you're any better? You're still an old man who's nearing his 30s like me. Sangchen, Shui. The whole living room was shrouded in a gloomy atmosphere. The younger brothers were shivering. Even Ronghuai moved closer to Jiangchen. Jiangchen wanted to protest, but Ronghuai gave him a stare. What are you looking at? If you keep looking, I'll beat you up. He was so fierce. However, when they huddled together, they didn't seem to be that scared anymore. This was probably the legendary huddling together to keep warm. Milk tea is ready. Add whatever you want. Xiangyi poured a cup for each of them. The hot milk tea seemed to have the power to bewitch people. The netizens in the stream wanted to cry but had no tears. Orders for milk tea on all major takeout platforms have skyrocketed. Everyone, please pay the advertising fee to Sister E. Thank you. Little Vase, stop it. Fatty Rua and I were already 2 people before watching the stream. Head trash streamer. You only know how to cook milk tea every day. Can't you create a couple? Ahem, an untimely and beautiful couple. Want to know more? Chapter 324. The fans secretly extended their little fingers to test the waters, ignorant netizens. Huh? Untimely? Let's search to see what's going on. Then, we accidentally fell into the trap. The main character is the one who started the love line. If you don't, you're not a surfer. In the living room, Ronghuai was like a little tyrant as he went up to grab 2 cups of milk tea. He was the kind of hooligan who wouldn't drink if he didn't. Jiangchen protested softly. That's not right. Sister poured a cup for each of us. Then, Ronghuai smiled sinisterly and flexed his muscles. Are you asking for a beating? Jiangchen was speechless. #pretend nothing happened, and pretend to be a good boy who didn't like milk tea. The next second, Ronghuai's forehead was knocked. He hissed and raised his head fiercely, like a frivolous and wild wolf puppy. He met Xiangyi's calm and gentle gaze. He rubbed his forehead aggrievedly. Why did you hit me? Xiangyi said. 1 cup for each of us. You can give the extra cup to brother Jiangchen. Ronghuai seemed to have heard a joke. Him? You want me to call him brother? It had always been others who called him brother, okay. Xiangyi sat cross-legged on the ground, resting her chin on her hands and looking at him quietly. His eyes met hers. 1 second, 2 seconds. In the 3rd second, Ronghuai couldn't take it anymore and looked away, his ears turning red. F***ck. This woman isn't reserved at all. How could she stare at him so intently? Even he was embarrassed by his stare. He reluctantly pushed a cup of milk tea to Jiang Chun. Jiang Chun was speechless. Sob sob sob, big sister is so nice and gentle. He took a sip. The hot milk tea warmed his stomach and warmed his heart. It was slightly sweet and had a light tea fragrance. It was a perfect match with red beans and oats. However, it must be very high in calories. He definitely couldn't drink too much. He took a sip. Should I have a little more? By the time Jiang Chun came to his senses, he had already finished the cup of milk tea. The young man hit his head in frustration. Rong Hui sneered. You've already drunk it. What's there to regret? Didn't you get any joy from my milk tea? Jiang Chun was in a daze, pondering Rong Hui's words. That's right. Big sister's cooking had this kind of magical power that made people feel warm and happy. Wasn't this the true essence of tasting food? Jiang Chun felt enlightened. Younger brother, you are really a philosopher. A thinker. His words are too profound and too reasonable. Rong Hui thought. I'm afraid he's a fool. Here, add some more taro balls for me. Rong Hui ordered him casually. Jiang Chun followed his order obediently. The two of them had completely forgotten that they were still streaming. Little did they know that their interaction did not escape the sharp eyes of the netizens. Ah, top traffic ex-arrogant young man, so sweet, so sweet. I'm sorry, although this couple is a cult, I can't help but stand there for a second. Zai Chen's aloofness is just a persona, but his true self is the naive and sweet one. Ha ha ha, he's being bullied by Rong Hui's younger brother. After chatting for a while, Xiangyi asked about the purpose of her brother's visit. Rong Hui cleared his throat. Jiang Chun had added a little too many taro balls for him just now, so his throat was sticky. I plan to take the arts exam and enroll in the film academy. I heard that you've started a company. Can I work there? As if he was afraid that Xiangyi would reject him, his eyes lit up. Sign me up. I won't let you regret it. Chapter 325. Although the young man spoke a little hurriedly, she could feel his firm conviction in his tone. He really trusted Xiangyi. Even though she knew that it was childish, she still couldn't help but be influenced by his passion. Xiangyi adjusted her sitting posture and sat upright. She did not look down on Rong Hui because of his young age. Instead, she said, Rong Hui, I'm very happy that you have a new study plan. However, signing a contract with a management company is not a trivial matter. I hope you can seriously consider it for a while. Rong Hui panicked. Hey, do you despise me? Xiangyi said gently. No, I'm just standing from an objective point of view. You're still underage and legally, She looked at her brother for help. Sangchen crossed his long legs and said indifferently, a person without civil capacity usually refers to a minor under the age of 8 or a minor who can recognize his own behavior. Rong Hui gritted his teeth and stared at Xiangyi with his dark eyes. There was a mix of anger and grievance in his eyes. Sister, I know what I'm doing. He pulled out a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket, which seemed to have been torn from a notebook. He then placed it in front of Xiangyi with a sullen face. She unfolded it and saw that the word contract was written on the top. His signature was written on the bottom right corner. The handwriting was crooked, and it was even uglier than a dog's crawl. In the live stream, F***ck sand got into my eyes. This is too easy to cry. Rong Hui really trusts Sister EQAQ. This is equivalent to entrusting his future to her. I'm about to cry. I laughed out loud again when I saw Rong Hui's handwriting. Ha 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 ha, it's so ugly. Xiangyi stared at Rong Hui with her clear doe eyes. Rong Hui was extremely nervous. His hands that were hanging by the sides of his trousers were clenched into fists, and his palms were sweating profusely. He was afraid that Xiangyi would criticize him indiscriminately like his parents. He was even more afraid that Xiangyi would reject him. However, Xiangyi said, Rong Hui, thank you for believing in me. The young man was stunned. I'll accept this contract, but I think we should both have the opportunity to choose, right? You chose me. Similarly, if you get into the film academy, I will sign you. During this period, Both of us have the right to go back on our words. What do you think? From the beginning to the end, she was gentle and soft. She didn't tell him what to do with his life, but he was given a choice. Rong Huai's Adam's apple bobbed slightly, as if he had just drunk a sports drink and was about to play a game. Okay, I promise you. We'll choose both sides. He hurriedly added. You can't go back on your word. Otherwise I. Rong Huai thought for a long while, but he still couldn't think of any powerful threats. He laid his eyes on Jiang Chun and strangled him from behind. I'll beat him up. Jiang Chun, who had been innocently implicated, was speechless. Xiangyi was amused by him. You're too shameless. The live stream was also filled with ha 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 ha. Hostage, Jiang Chun raised his hand, indicating that he was going to speak. Rong Huai loosened his grip a little. Jiang Chun said, Elder sister, I've signed with Tomato Entertainment for 5 years. Do you want to sign with me for a few more years? Shen Xiai said, 5 years is nothing. Elder sister, my contract is very long. I've signed for 10 years. The others said, Elder sister, renew my contract. I'm cheaper. I can do it too, elder sister. Pick me, pick me. The netizens were speechless. What? Little brothers, is there anyone who would fight to sign a slave contract like you? Chapter 326. Xiangyi felt like laughing. These kids were really, she couldn't turn them down. There's no rush to renew the contract, but I promise to hire professionals to help you plan your career path. The C7 boys nodded repeatedly. Jiang Chun nudged Rong Huai with his shoulder, unable to hide his smugness. We're pretty much guaranteed jobs in sister's company. Keep it up, brother. If you can't get into the film academy, sister won't sign you. Rong Huai gritted his teeth. Are you asking for a beating? Xiangyi, kids don't fight. Li Jinyu. Huawei, watch your words. Be careful not to get our live stream banned. Rong Huai. How infuriating, but he still had to pretend to be obedient in front of sister. The netizens in the live stream were filled with emotions. I've seen people fighting to terminate their contracts, but I've never seen people fighting to renew their contracts. They were obviously tricked into signing the contract by the company, but now they're bragging about it. The boys are so cute and pitiful. I'm tearing up. I've always felt bad for the boys signing with this unscrupulous company, but now I see a glimmer of hope. I hope Xiangyi doesn't let them down. Someone else got the main point. Ha ha ha, look at Shui's expression, isn't it a little subtle? Countless eyes were focused on Shui's face on the screen. The man leaned lazily on the sofa, his gold-rimmed glasses resting on the bridge of his nose. His eyebrows were lowered, and his long eyelashes cast a faint shadow on his fair skin. Xiangyi inexplicably felt a chill on the back of her neck. She turned around and met Shui's gaze. She was puzzled. Huh. Shui said faintly. Does Sister E hate me? Xiangyi was dumbfounded. No. Then why didn't you sign me? Sister E, do you think I'm too expensive? Then I can make it cheaper. Shui's voice was deep, and after deliberately lowering it, it sounded a little hoarse. Or does Sister E think I can't work for you if you sign me? His tone was weak, helpless, and pitiful. Those who heard it were heartbroken, and those who heard it shed tears. The girl was at a loss. That's not what I meant. I thought you were joking. After all, Shui was signed by his uncle's company. Moreover, his uncle was very kind to him and opened a personal studio for him. The basic work was up to his mood. In other words, Shui was now no different from a free man. Why would a normal person be willing to sign with another company and put shackles on themselves? It was illogical. The netizens in the live stream were shocked. F***CK. Was I hallucinating? Shengdi is actually begging to work. Si Chuanbai, great manager C. Do you know that your artist is lovesick? Domineering female CEO ex-best actor of the entertainment industry. Sisters, I can do it again. It's fine if the younger brothers are fighting to sign the contract, but Shengdi. He's basically selling his looks, his skills, and his body. Shui pushed up his glasses and looked at Xiangyi with his deep eyes. He sounded a little aggrieved. I'm not joking with you. Xiangfeng said weakly. Shui, I'm your boss. Hey, did you hear me? I'm your boss. Xiangyi said in a daze. Then sign it. Anyway, one more person wouldn't make much of a difference. Xiangfeng's world collapsed. Little Xiangyi, he jumped ship in front of me, and you're trying to poach him in front of me. Do you still have any respect for me? You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.